Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Make Hijra family. It's your boy Hamza Abu Dalia. Back to you again. This morning or today, I'd like to discuss with you all putting things in perspective. Obviously, one of the biggest thorns in people's sides about actually going to jump and make the hijrah. You have to excuse the sunlight because where I'm parked it's a bit, so excuse the quality. But the biggest thorn in the side of a lot of people that want to make hijrah is the visa. I can't find anywhere to go because the visa, they don't do long-term residency, the visa's too expensive, and all these are what we call legitimate grievances. But every so often, and I'm only speaking about this because it happened to me yesterday. Not so much regarding the visa, because I understand my situation, but based upon what happened to me yesterday, I had to step back, take a breath, and put things in perspective. So that's why it kind of prompted me to talk about it today. So let me tell you what happened to me yesterday, which all started the day before yesterday, funny enough, excuse me. It started the day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, I would say, alhamdulillah, I had a good day. Parked up, got out my van, went home, had a good evening, watched some TV, had a laugh and joke with my mum, chilled out. So I got up the next morning, put my key in the van, started the van, tried to move off because I'm driving to work now. Clunk, 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 clunk. I'm like, subhanallah, what's this? I didn't actually say subhanallah, what's this? I said something a little bit more fruitful. But anyway, I'm like, what's this? So I had to drive at a speed of no more than 15 or 20 miles an hour to the garage with my hazards on. Mechanic took a look at the problem. He said, you got to leave it here. I said, all right, cool. Took 2 buses to work. Turned up late to work, but I'm on price work anyway, so I start when I start, I finish when I finish. So that wasn't really an issue. But anyway, van's out of action. Got to work. Set up to go to work. One of the tools that I use to do my job, because I'm a roofer, was broken. It broke. Well, it didn't break. It came apart. It came apart. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I had a spare. So all now I'm thinking, whoa. All right. And then nothing that I tried to do that day concerning my work went right. Yeah, things that I would normally have under lock and key, everything will be good, didn't go right. Anyway, I managed to get through. Then I get a call from my brother. Oh, bro, there's some letters here for you. When I meet you, I'll give them to you. I said, okay, bro. So on the way to picking up my van after work, he picked me up. We're on the way to the garage to pick up my van. He goes, oh, here's the letters. When I've opened the letters, there is a £1,500 outstanding fine for those who know. And the UK, if your vehicle is a certain age, you have to pay what we call a ULEZ. If you don't pay the ULEZ, they put it as a parking fine, or they call it a PCN fine. So in another video, I'll basically explain how these fines were accumulated. But anyway, £1,000 fine. So I said to my brother, I'm paying these. Why have they? Oh, it's a bailiff letter, that's it. These letters were £1,000 fine, telling me if I don't pay by the 3rd of the 3rd, the third day of Ramadan, basically, they're going to send bailiffs to my father's house. So I'm like, okay. At this point here, I'm thinking, you know what? Alhamdulillah. Wallahi, this is what I was saying to myself. Alhamdulillah, these things are sent to test us. Collected the van. But I know the mechanic through my brother, so he said, look, just pay me when you got it, because I know things are a bit tight at the moment. I said, all right, cool. Got home, and I'm looking through these letters, and what it is, I had 3 more payments to pay. 3 out of 10. I had 3 more payments to pay. And I've gone onto the site, onto the app, to pay one of the outstanding fines, £270. It wouldn't let me go in. So I thought, So I went to the next fine, £270, wouldn't let me go in. Went to the third fine, they wouldn't let me go in. So I'm thinking, I know what they've done. They've stopped me from paying through the app, and now they've referred me to the bailiffs, and the bailiffs have put their charge on. So with a heavy hand and a heavy heart and embarrassment like you have no idea, I had to go to the Bank of Mum. Went to the Bank of Mum. Alhamdulillah, she sorted it for me. I paid her back 1/3 of what she paid, because obviously I had that money to pay a fine anyway. But then I've disputed 2 other fines, but anyway, that's another story. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because when you place things in perspective, yeah, not me personally, because I'm settled with my visa situation. I have to leave the country, I have to leave Tanzania every 90 days. Yeah, so even if I do a visa run, I've only got to go to Kenya or some other country near there, stay there for a week and come back. Tanzania is quite relaxed like that. As long as you pay your $50, they give you another 90 days, so it's cool. And the fact of the matter is, it's only me. I haven't got to pick up my whole family and leave, so I'm quite settled. But what it got me thinking about is, for those amongst us who have a gripe about there's nowhere for us to go, or I want to go to here, but the visa situation, and I'm going to have to upheave myself, or I'm going to have to change my lifestyle because of the visa situation. It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. I want to put this question out to you. Have you actually looked at what you're dealing with on a daily basis while you're living in the places that you're living? I'm talking to those who haven't made hijrah, obviously. If you're living in the US, if you're living in the UK, you're living in Europe, say, you're dealing with stuff that your mind, body and soul has become numb to, because you're just doing it like a robot. You're just doing it like a robot. You get a fine, you have a bad day. You're not looking at why you're having a bad day. You say, I'm having a bad day, subhanAllah, Allah's sending it to test me, blah, 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 blah. But okay, you haven't not been given an avenue to alleviate that particular test. Not to say if you make hijrah, tests ain't gonna continue, because, you know, between you and I and then Allah, I'm going through tests all the time. So, but I'm aware of it. But you're being tested every single day. You're being asked to request, you're being asked to suppress that what you're being oppressed every single day. And you're being asked to suppress it. And when an opportunity like making hijrah, whether it's a permanent hijrah or whether it's changing your lifestyle slightly to become a nomadic muhajir. Let's take it to the extreme. A nomadic muhajir. The first thing you do is complain about the visa, and not take into consideration if you were to make that change and shoulder the inconveniences of the visa situation to enable your part visa or your part hijrah or your total hijrah, you look at it as you're taking on another burden alongside the burdens that you have to carry while you're in your current countries of residence. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And at least if the journey between making your transition from one country to the other brings on further tests, further difficulties, it's obviously clear why. Because you've made the declaration, I'm making hijrah for Allah. And Allah's going to say to you, okay, well, you say you believe, well, I'm going to test that theory. And on top of that, you go through a process of looking inward to discover how sincere I really am. So those tests are positive. The negativity that you're currently holding and living with and swallowing and biting down on can be alleviated by just making hijrah. There's no benefit in making an excuse about visa, sitting down and shouldering the daily oppressive program that you're living your life through, all because everything is not perfect for you. And what would make it perfect was if I could find somewhere where the visas are easy. So I just wanted to give a little 10-minute rant. Like, we need to start taking things into perspective. Continuously living under oppression, because that's what it is, and equating that with that oppression being continued because I can't move to a country that I want to go to because of the visa situation. Whereas if you dealt with that visa situation, the oppression that you're going through in your current country of residence would be somewhat alleviated, because you've now torn up your roots to that country of residence. You're now moving somewhere else. You now have the opportunity to plan, so those difficulties that you face in your country of residence, you can now maybe foresee some of those difficulties in the country that you're going to and plan ahead. But continuously complaining about, I can't move here because of the visa situation, I can't move there because of the visa. Listen, I'm not saying the visa situation isn't valid, but there's workarounds. And those workarounds sometimes take a little bit of sacrifice and a little bit of compromise. Now, once you come to that reality, it's like, now I have things in perspective. Surely. So anyway, so that's today's rant. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm here to answer your questions. I don't have all the answers for everything, but based upon my experiences over the past, how long? 15 years, maybe more, of being on this hijrah journey,